Friends, Pastor Chuck Blair here. Great to have you joining me this morning as we continue on with 10 minutes of morning calm. And today what we're looking at is the concept of language. And it's a little sort of timeout in our flow here. It's interesting when you look at Christian New Church theology. There's a lot of places where it goes off into these little tangents. And one of the ones is this little tangent that Emmanuel Swedenborg wrote about was speech, where what he asks us to think about from a Christian perspective is the speech of angels. Like how does that work, and what is the beauty of it? And I think, folks, there's something just for taking a minute just to realize, the incredible beauty of language, and for us all to think about a day in which we live into that beauty of language. And this is how he had us think about it, or would have us think about it, have us consider it. The words angels use, that is, the words that they choose, are well chosen, clear, meaningful, distinctly enunciated, and relevant. I love that idea of being super careful with our words. And it's not super careful with our words as in like, I gotta, everything's a challenge. I have to be very leery that I don't say anything that offends anyone. No, it's a different kind of word choice. And it's more like a word choice, as at the grocery store a few days ago, and there was a guy with a watermelon, he's knocking on the watermelon. He's trying to find out if he's ripe. I don't even know whether that works, but it was fun to watch him. And I think that's maybe the way word choice should work. What's the word that really kind of encapsulates this person that really makes a difference out there into the world. It was interesting, at church on Sunday. Those of you who watch church on Sunday, we looked at the idea that on our outside there's a lot of selfishness and materialism that goes on, but underneath it all, there's this deep mutual love, and so much of language gets to that mutual love. And what are those words, and how do we deliberately choose them? I know one that we've done at New Church Live in several small groups that I find particularly powerful is just you get in a group and then you look at someone and you think of a word, the word that reminds you of them. That's why the title for this is "This Word Reminds Me of You." You pick that word and then you ask them to tell a story about that word. And it's very powerful because there's a way when we choose language well and we understand that there's a whole carrier of like a word is a whole carrier of language, a whole carrier of meaning, a whole carrier of depth that's incredibly beautiful. And that's where I think we can choose words really well. And maybe a little takeaway for today that might be a little fun would be for you to talk to somebody you love, and if it feels doable, appropriate, easy, tell them, hey, you know what, this word reminds me of you. And share that with them. This word reminds me of you, and text it to them. Tell them, blame it on me that this was a little pastoral assignment, because there really is something about that. I remember when we were doing this exercise, one of the people looked at someone and they said, "Oh, courage." And courage is the word that reminds me of you. Tell me a story about courage. And the story was beautiful. And that's where, folks, when we really understand language and we really kind of come into it, it's just a shift. So much of language is weaponized. It's used to argue. It's used to accuse. It's used to kind of maneuver and show that I'm smarter than, to somehow prove a point. But here we're being asked, I think, if we're looking at it from the standpoint of heaven, is what's the language that enlivens? What's the word that returns your friend or your spouse or your partner to their best selves, returns them to themselves, reminds them of who they actually were created from all time to be, and inspires them to move forward in their lives in ways that are deeply meaningful? Take some time to really consider that today, and maybe do it around dinner with your kids if you have kids still at home. It's a fun little exercise. So it's the exercise this simple. This word reminds me of you. Share the word, have them share the story, see what happens. So that's the thought for today, friends. And what we're going to do now is we're going to sort of go away from words a little bit. We're going to do a little meditation here. For those of you joining us the first time, what we're going to do is I'm going to ring a bell, You're going to listen to the prayer bell until it stops ringing. Then we're going to do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to folks on social media. So, friends, with that, let's get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little cheery hello. And again, I hope everyone is in great shape, ready for a beautiful day. And it sure is gorgeous out here, that's for sure. All right, let's get started here. Cherry writes, "Good morning from Niagara Falls, heading east." Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Niagara Falls is beautiful. All right, let's flip over onto this. A little cheery hello over here. See if this comes on. Is it going to cooperate? Yeah, it's going to cooperate. That's good. That's good. All right. Marcus, good morning to you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And Linda, good morning to you. I wish you a great day as well. All right, dear friends. Best of wishes to all of you on this day. And just think of the word, play that little game. This word reminds me of you. And with that, we're going to close with a little reminder about how much your financial support means to us here at New Church Live. Take care. Like our content? It's funded by viewers like you. Please consider becoming a sustaining supporter of New Church Live today. Take care, friends. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.